You may have heard me say that 80% of our proposals sell to major publishers, and I want to be honest here and say that not every single deal my clients have received has been in the six figures. Several in recent years have been way less, all the way down to $15,000. Sometimes that's about the overall market. I don't get out of bed for less than $100K. After a literary agent said that to me a few years ago, it became my new mantra. Not for me necessarily, but for the entrepreneurs, experts, and creators that I work with. Here's why. What you absolutely 100% need to know about traditional publishing is that it's a reputation-based business. I want and I need my authors to be at a certain level so that my business and therefore my professional reputation runs at that same level. Meaning that if I send out a bunch of mid or iffy projects, I'm going to be known for that versus what I actually do, which is be really picky. I want and I have to believe that the clients I choose to work with can get a book deal worth $100,000 or more, because then I'm working with the literary agents, the editors, and the publishers who operate at that level. Most of the literary agents I know aren't going to get out of bed for less than $100K because their work is commission-based. On a 15% commission, which by the way is standard for the industry, that's only $15,000 for at least 2 years worth of work, possibly more. And the lower that book advance goes, the less that literary agent is making and author is making. So let's go to Tangent Town for a second and have a little moment with business models. Most entrepreneurs create offers that land in one of two camps: high price and low volume, or low price and high volume. Agents, editors, and publishers operate the same way. For the most part, prescriptive how-to nonfiction is high price, low volume because a self-help author might only have 1 or 2 books in their entire career compared to, let's say, a romance author who tends to write a book every year or 2. Personally, I run a high price, low volume business model, and so do most of the literary agents I work with. So going back to our main narrative, the reason that I choose to work with clients who I feel can get at least 6 figures, if not more, is because that lands those clients with the right literary agencies who have those relationships with editors that can make a book successful. So you might be wondering, if $100,000 is our floor, it's sort of what I expect to get for clients when I sign them up, what's the ceiling? Well, currently the biggest deal we've ever gotten for a client is $2 million. But the range, right, I see most often is between $100,000 and $250,000. Out of more than 30 deals I've personally helped clients to land, roughly 40% have ended up in that $100K to $250K range. That actually tracks with data from Publishers Marketplace, where agents, authors, and editors announce book deals. Now, not all book deals are announced, but a fun thing to know about book deals is that Publishers Marketplace, which is also known as Pub Lunch for its daily email newsletters, labels deals based on money. So $100,000 to $250,000 is called a good deal. $250,000 to $500,000 is a significant deal, and $500,000 or more is a major deal. Now, I gotta admit, I've only had 2 major deals in my entire career that went for more than $500,000. So those are really outliers, right? In general, the number of deals stay the same quarter by quarter, year after year. At the beginning of April 2026, which is when I recorded this episode, Publishers Marketplace had just released their data comparing the first quarter of 2026 with the last 4 years. And although there was some up and down year to year, the averages averaged out. So, just like my authors, you are more likely to get what's called a good deal, landing at $100,000 to $250,000, than you are to get a significant deal, which is $250,000 to $500,000, or certainly a major deal, which again is over $500,000. However, in order to get a book deal at all, remember, you've got to have my 3P framework, which is potential for your book to appeal to a specific segment of readers, most likely your audience; platform, your proven ability to reach an audience of book buyers and sell books when you promote them; and proposal, what you hire me and my team to do. When you have those 3 Ps, when you have that 3P framework and work with me and my team to secure a literary agent, how much you receive as an advance depends on a lot of factors. The books publishers have already acquired in process is a factor. The experience of individual editors, as well as their personal interests and preferences, is a factor. And the general state of the economy in the world is a factor as well. In that way, what advance you get can be a lot like the housing market. I don't know about you, but I personally watch a lot of house hunters. When you have a house that's been sitting for sale, it's more likely that the buyer has negotiating power. Depending on the sellers, it's possible that someone could buy that house with a price below asking. Or let's say you put your house up for sale in a bad economy, like my husband had to in 2008 when he got a job offer in New York. He wasn't able to get as much money as he would have if the economy had been better at that time. Those same dynamics exist in publishing. In a lot of ways, many of the deals in 2020, 2021, even 2022 were a boom market. The house my husband and I ended up buying went for thousands over the asking price because we bought at a hot time in a hot market. We had to compete and put together our best offer in order to make the deal happen. Both of those things can happen in publishing. I recently worked on a book that was the equivalent of a super cute house at a reasonable price. That project ended up getting multiple offers and ended up going for a lot of money because there was competition. And what you need to know as an author is that your literary agent, it's their job to negotiate. And they're going to negotiate very similarly to a real estate agent. Your literary agent will try to get publishers who want your book to come up to what they personally feel the value is for your book. That value might not always match actual market price. It could be higher, it could be lower. But regardless, a literary agent's job is to get you the best deal. That doesn't always mean the highest number. Sometimes our clients feel really connected to a particular editor or publisher and are willing to actually take less money to work with that team. Ultimately, the connection is what matters because the editor is the champion for your book inside the publishing house. But I can't pretend the money doesn't matter, and neither should you. You may have heard me say that 80% of our proposals sell to major publishers, and I want to be honest here and say that not every single deal my clients have received has been in the 6 figures. Several in recent years have been way less, all the way down to $15,000. Sometimes that's about the overall market. A couple of years ago, in early 2024, a few of our best projects sold for less money because everybody in publishing was spending less money. For whatever reason, that was the trend, and the authors that went out on submission to publishers in that season got lower advances. But as I explained in the episode on how money works in publishing, which is linked in the show notes in case you haven't heard it, that doesn't mean you will have an editor that's any less involved or a less successful book overall, financially or otherwise. A lower advance just means that you get less money up front. So ultimately, it's part of your literary agent's job to be strategic about when to send a proposal out, how to send it, who to send it to, if they're going to do a really wide submission to everybody that works on that kind of book, or if they're only going to send it to a few of their favorite people. Like me, a literary agent will make all sorts of choices based on their experience and what they honestly feel like is best for you. Unfortunately, there is no way to guarantee a book deal, much less one worth 6 figures or more. However, what is in your control completely is those 3 Ps in my 3P framework. Develop your potential, the potential for your book, the potential for you as an author. Establish and grow your author platform, which is code for your audience, right? And your reach and your ability to sell books. And then last, hire us to help you write a proposal, obviously. So I want to make one more point about the clients we work with and why our goal is 6 figures or more from a publisher. Most of our clients are entrepreneurs, experts, and creators. They have successful businesses and brands and busy lives. Their books must be revenue generating in order for them to invest time and money. While it's obviously an investment and a risk to hire us up front to craft a saleable proposal with no guarantee of success, for most of our clients, the leverage they gain and the payoff they get is well worth the investment, even when they never earn a dime beyond their advance. Because what I want you to remember and I want you to know is that the real money in publishing a book doesn't come from the publisher. Instead, that money arrives in the form of more visibility and credibility as a traditionally published author. The way you publish still matters, okay? And when your book is being written, especially when you're getting help with writing the book through someone like me and my team, you can use the fact that you got a book deal as a marketing message. You can invest part or all of your advance in growing your audience and getting more clients. You can demand higher speaking fees and book more speaking engagements and keynotes, all while earning a return on investment that got you there, hiring me and my team to help you. Now, to get started, the very first step in landing your six-figure book deal is my free quiz, which I encourage you to take if you haven't already. Your answers on that quiz will let you know how to work with me and my team, as well as give you specific guidance for where you're at right now. And I want to give a little bit of an encouragement here, no matter where you're at on your journey. While there are a lot of things that are out of control for you as an author, what's entirely in your control is what you do next. As always, I hope this podcast has been helpful, and until next time, cheers to your success. Thanks for tuning into the Kind of a Big Book Deal podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you subscribe and also leave a review. Not only is this good for my ego and annoying for my enemies, but it also helps more entrepreneurs like ourselves find this podcast. Also, I'm pretty sure it's good karma. See you next time.